How long has the incumbent been in office?
She was elected in 2024, so
Okay, so not too
not
long.
very long. Most of her career before that was as a lobbyist in Topeka. Basically, came into office through her connections in Topeka. There wasn't really much of a challenger in 2024, like a challenger. It was an open seat. There was a guy who he raised maybe $800 and ended up getting 180 votes. So I think this is really the first race that the incumbent has had to run. I think maybe she didn't take me very seriously when I first announced, but when I got my first union endorsement with the IBEW 226 in Topeka, then it became very real, and which can only be healthy for a democracy. To You can't get comfortable in a seat, and this is a seat that's easy to get comfortable in, especially if you've been a lobbyist in Topeka for that long and you have those connections. If no one's going to challenge you, if you're never going to have to run a real race, then you can get comfortable. And no one's entitled to their seat in public office. The seat belongs to the voters in the district, and they're the ones who give the seat to whoever is sitting in it. And so here I am, challenged.
I think they can get complacent. I think that if they are in safe seats where they're not going to be challenged, especially if there's some that they've technically been voted in, but they've never had a challenger from either party, or they've never had any challenger. So nobody's really had the chance to vote for or against them until you challenge them. Then we know for sure that the people chose that person, right?
Okay.
So without a choice, I would be so bummed if I ran and then had nobody running against me and had to run a campaign with just me. I'd be like, vote for me.
Yeah, no, you gotta, that's the best way to be held accountable, is to actually face some challenges from people in your own district.
Yeah.
We've both got our positions. And we're making our cases to the voters in the district, and we'll see. We're only a little less than 3 weeks away from finding out who the voters want to go with.
Do you have any like specific things you would have done differently than she did in her tenure?
I think the biggest thing is we really need to be putting forward this working class vision. This message is the thing that people talking to voters in the district. When I've been knocking door to door, we've knocked over 4,000 doors, and the response has been overwhelming. Like how much people are ready to hear that can care for all, a democratic bill of rights, a labor bill of rights, a public housing trust. These things are things that people really need to rally around, and the working class will fight if we give them something to fight for, and not just in the 10th district. I want to go out. We want to organize voters in every district, in rural districts and swing districts, to really turn the screws on the GOP to say, look, talk to your representative. They're holding up this legislation that will benefit your interests as a working person. And if we can really build that broad, multiracial, multi-generational, gender diverse working class coalition to really turn the screws on the GOP, we can actually get some of these things passed. I don't think it's enough to propose the legislation, put it out there, argue for it in the committees and on the lectern, and then knowing that it's basically going to go nowhere because you're in the minority. And then you come home to Lawrence and say, we tried. We did all we could, but we can actually do more.
What more could we do? Not that I don't believe you. I'm just curious.
Sure. No, that's what I'm saying. Actually organizing that broad coalition. Like you were saying, there's counties that are getting new Democratic chairs, but also it's got to be more than just Democratic Party infrastructure. It's got to be the labor unions, and they don't have the best density in some of those rural districts. And we've got to look to other democratic and pro-democracy and progressive forces that do exist out there. And like I mentioned earlier, the NAACP, other organizations like that, League of Women Voters, I guess they're 501c3, so there's not a lot of political work they can do. But yeah, those political organizations that have members that are out there that can work with them to rally people around this vision that you.
I just know if we, as the, like you said, the probably one of the most, if not the most left Kansas House district we have, if you guys move a little left, hopefully you guys will be the, not the anchor. I can't think of what I'm thinking of.
Like
The
I like
lead ship.
Yeah, sure. I like to say raising the banner, giving the
The
rest of the state something to rally around.
rally cry
Yeah.
of the Free State fighter.
Yeah. It's fight for the free state.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. I work now for the Kansas Historical Society. And
Oh, cool.
so I'm getting more into Kansas history. I've always been in, I love the Capitol building and the whole Free State thing. I've always been into that, but really getting, my thing is like figuring out how we got from that to here,
Sure.
fully understanding like how that all took place. And so obviously that's a long time and there's a lot to it. So it's a slow learning process, but it's something I'm really interested in to try to figure it out. When I went back and tried to figure out how we got from Obama to Trump, how did that happen exactly? And I'd heard tidbits from different people and stuff that kind of got me leaded in the right direction. And then I just researched and read and looked back at stuff and found old news articles and stuff, because 2008 it not a lot of things were online as much as they are now, and kind of pieced it all together like in hindsight, and then what people have revealed since then that we didn't know at the time.
Sure. Yeah, it's not just bleeding Kansas. It's not just the Free State fight. There was the populist movement was they controlled the whole government in the 1890s for a decade, and then they got absorbed into the Democratic Party. But like that has ripples that helped to build the New Deal coalition that came later. And also it influenced the Republicans to take up the progressive movement that led to the antitrust legislation and things like that. So when regular people come together and actually get something done, it can have ripples across the whole political landscape across the country.